Hi everyone, this is Bree Luna with Reading Rev, and today we're going to talk about where to jump into the Reading Rev program based on your students' data. So let's get started. The first step you're going to do, whether you're starting at the beginning of the year or mid-year, is give your class the Multisyllabic Word Inventory. And you want to give just part one. Giving both parts would be overwhelming. So just go give part one. Notice that each word is chosen for the corresponding pattern. So word number one is admit. That is a multisyllabic closed syllable word. And then if we go down to number 5, skillful, week 5 is about the floss spelling pattern, and so that has a floss spelling pattern word. So this is going to be given just like a normal spelling test. It can be given whole group, and you are going to notice that if a student is missing the first 5, you're gonna stop administering that and give them the single syllable word inventory instead. Okay, step 2 is you collect those student assessments and you are going to analyze them using the analysis form. So you are going to circle on the analysis form any word that was missed, but more importantly is the part of the word that was missed, the vowel that was missed, the blend or digraph, or exactly what part of the word is missed. You want to have both of these because there's a lot of analysis that can be done using the students' work, but then this will help you kind of tease out the patterns that they need in a very systematic. The next step is you are going to categorize and literally just jot down in this casual of a way the students that need each pattern. And so I just get a notebook piece of paper, I write the patterns that are in part 1 of the Reading Rev program, and I write the names of the students that need that pattern, because that's going to show me numerically if the great majority of my class is needing a skill, or if there are just a few students that need. So the next step is I am going to do some analysis of my class data to determine which week I should jump in to the Reading Rev program. And if you notice, I only had 4 students that were not completely secure in their short vowel sounds. These 4 students were mixing up short vowel sounds, and I only had 2 students that were not getting the consonant sounds or consonant clusters or blends and digraphs. I had 3 students needing open syllables and 10 needing magic E. So I really want to make sure that I am going to make a systematic plan of where is the most beneficial part of the program for me to jump in, and I'm not spending weeks and weeks and weeks on things that my class already has mastered. So using this class's data, I am going to look at where they are and the scope and sequence and how I can review some patterns and also get to where they're really falling down much, much quicker. So looking at this scope and sequence, notice that week 1 through 5 and week 8 and 9 are all short vowel closed syllable patterns. So within closed syllables, I have all of these different little nuance and spelling patterns or phonetic patterns, but I'm not going to go week and spend a whole week on each one of those. Instead, I'm going to do a more consolidated review. I'm also going to review open syllables and magic E, because while I was looking at my students' data, I noticed a great majority of my class did have some vowel confusion between short and long vowels. So it's really, really important that I teach my students syllable division, that I teach them the system of the program of sound boxes and syllable scoops and sound letter correspondence. I want to establish all of that before I jump into more complex patterns that they really need, but I don't want to spend 9 weeks doing it. So I will show you in just a minute exactly a week-by-week plan. However, what do I do with the students that I do notice they are missing some of those prerequisite skills, right? What about those 4 students that did not have short vowels mastered? What about those 2 students that were not mastering consonant sounds? So I want to do some additional digging or some additional diagnostic testing to find out exactly what those students need. I'm not just going to leave them in the dust because the rest of the class is ready for more complex skills. So I'm going to start with the word inventory, and then I'm going to check in on anyone that I feel they are not at grade level. I'm going to do some additional testing. So I'm going to give them a decoding assessment. It can be the Reading Rev Multisyllabic Word Decoding Assessment. It could be 6 syllable types. It could be core phonics. I'm also going to check in on their phonological awareness and make sure that their phonemic and phonological awareness foundational skill is there. And I'm going to make a plan for how I'm going to teach and progress monitor the skills, the students that have previously missing skills. So I'm not just abandoning them, but I'm not going to hold the rest of the class back to teach that small majority. So I wanted to show you just a couple of student examples of this word inventory because while the overall sheet, the analysis sheet, is important, we can glean a lot of things from really their error pattern. So not just did they miss the vowel sound, are they consistently interchanging 2 vowel sounds? Or are they missing sounds? Or are they adding sounds? So you really want to get that big picture for your whole class data, but also looking at with a finer tooth comb or a closer lens, what students' strengths and weaknesses are. So in this one, notice that this student does have good sound-letter correspondence. This student is capturing the sounds in the word. They're not missing or adding. However, they do have several short vowel sound errors, and they're really oftentimes mixing up short and long vowels. So I need to do some explicit teaching and giving them support in vowels for sure. Let's look at one other. This student is clearly hearing the syllables. They're even giving a little space in between syllables, so I know that that they're recognizing that the word has sound parts, but I'm also noticing that they have a lot of phonemic awareness mistakes. They're mixing up letters. They're writing a letter for a sound that doesn't make sense. Look at number 6. In the word defrost, they have a CT at the end. So I'm just going to really hone in on, do they have solid sound letter correspondences? And again, this student is really in need of short vowel and short versus long vowel support. I would also notice there's some transcription or penmanship things that are playing for this student. They're mixing upper and lower case or interchanging in upper and lower case letters often, and so I might give some support for that. And then the next step is, based on my data and my observation, I am going to create my small group plan. So I know that I am going to do a couple weeks review for the whole class, but then we're going to really jump in with the sounds of ED. So that week is where we're going to do a couple weeks review, but then we're going to jump in there. But I also have a small group plan. These are flexible, skill-based small groups. So I'm going to make sure that these students are getting support for missing skills in my small group instruction. So let's take a look back at the whole group instruction, where we want to start. I mentioned earlier that we never want to skip reviewing closed and open syllables, and here's why. Closed and open syllables determine the pronunciation of a word. They determine spelling of a word. So look in the word rabbit. I know that second B has to be there to keep the first vowel closed, or the first syllable closed, or the vowel short. So I have to understand the concept of closed and open in order to get later spelling patterns. Closed and open syllables often impact spelling when we get to morphology and when we're adding suffixes. Do I have to double a consonant to keep a vowel short? Do I need to drop a final E in order to not make an unwanted vowel team? Do I need to change Y to I? And so they have to have really solid understanding about closed and open syllables for these more complex patterns that will come up later. So even if everyone in my class is solid and it doesn't appear based on my assessment that they need closed and open syllables, I would still do a several day review of these and just really making sure with syllable division and with syllabication that they really understand closed and open syllables in 1 and 2 syllable words. Okay, so for this class's data, here was the plan that I determined where I would start instruction. I would spend 1 week, the first week, talking about closed syllables, and closed syllables making sure that they have sound letter automaticity with all of those consonant sounds. So blends can be at the beginning, they can be at the end. Sometimes we call those consonant clusters. Oftentimes students miss hearing the second sound in a blend, and they also just have to be able to recognize what the blends are, because blends are not divided in syllable division. So this is an important review, because when we get to syllable division in more complex patterns, they have to know that they would never divide a blend or a digraph. So that's week 1. Week 2, then I would work on the 1 + 1 + 1 patterns. So in floss and CK, if the word is a 1 syllable word with 1 short vowel and 1 final consonant sound, there are some interesting spelling rules that they have to know. And so I would spend week 2 still talking about closed syllables and short vowels, but with floss, CK, and the cat-kite rule. When do I know to use a C and when do I know to use a K? And I would, throughout this entire 2 weeks, really be focusing on 2 syllable words and syllable division. You get to determine, based on your own individual students, what pieces and parts. Obviously, you're not going to do the entire digraph packet in 1 day, right? You might show 1 day of the Google Slides and have them do just one activity and maybe some word reading or one passage, but you are not trying to fit all of it into 1 day. You're just picking out a couple of crucial pieces that your own individual students need. And the same thing with week 2. Then for week 3, notice I only had a couple of students in my data that were missing open syllables, but I'm still going to do an entire whole group review for this for a week, because I want to make sure that they're solid with this foundational understanding so that we can get to higher complex patterns. So within week 3 and 4, I'm going to review open syllables and magic E or consonant vowel consonant E words. However, I'm also going to embed that short versus long vowels instruction. We in Orton Gillingham call that vowel intensives. It just means we're teaching to mastery. We're teaching vowels very intensely. And there are several suggestions of how to do vowel intensives that I will link in this video. So I'm reviewing one pattern, but I'm also embedding how do you know if it's open, how do you know if it's closed, let's tune into hearing short versus long vowels and know if it's long, we have to do something. So for this particular class's data, I have the majority of my students needing suffix spelling patterns. So the 3 sounds of ED and the doubling suffix pattern, the majority of my students needed vowel teams, R controlled, and consonant LE. So I would choose to begin the program after my 4-week review at week 10. Notice that instead of taking 10 weeks to get to where the majority of my students needed support, I only took 4 weeks. I gave them a really solid foundation of closed and open syllables, and short and long vowel review, which we know is so crucial. But I saved 5 weeks of instruction. I saved over a month of instructional time to making sure that I'm not wasting precious academic minutes. So this is, of course, just particular to this group. You would not do the exact same thing with your class. You would let the data lead the way, and then anyone who is still not strong in weeks 1 through 9 pattern, you would continue to support them and get them to mastery in small group instruction. So I hope that was helpful, and let me know if you have any comments or questions.